Good evening, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 8:54 p.m. on May 10th, 2021. Just to inform everybody, this is not financial advice. It's purely educational. I think you've heard enough of this disclaimer today. Twitter links and subscription links, all sorts of links below this video. So let's move forward. Still sitting here, we're 80-20. 80% is at these pricing points. These are my entry points. These were my buy points. 39 cents, 41 cents, 57 cents, 51 cents is 46 cents. 20% of my total allocation of what I originally started with is in dollars, is sitting still in US dollars waiting for that 700 NuCypher Bitcoin pair to hit. If and when, nothing's certain here. So look, today was abominable. So, let's just take a quick peek at the two types of investors. Actually, there's three. But let's look at Mr. Oh No. Mr. Oh No is the one that's scared. This is Mr. Fear here. He's the type of person that will sell his NuCypher because he's suddenly concerned about the price and sells it out in the open market. Basically jumping out of an airplane and forgetting his parachute. Like, that's how fast he's acting. And then there's Mr. Moore. He's the greed guy. And the greed guy is more like, on an earlier show that we had, he's more like the human cannonball. Except this guy goes head first without his helmet on into the market, without thinking. Now, there's a third person that I don't have on this slide. But the third person is the person that is already planned ahead on what they're going to do in the event that we have volatility, such as the volatility that we saw today. And as you look through the day, there are people that suddenly become passionate because now they're starting to think about what they should do. It's okay to be passionate, but be passionate after you've already planned your entry and exit point, because it's not good to start thinking about that when your emotions have already started kicking in. You have to look at it logically when the markets are settled. You have time to take a breather, think about it. So that's just the way I've been trying to handle this. And yes, I was passionate today, but it didn't change my mind, and tomorrow won't change my mind either. But and as I see patterns develop, I may change my mind, but it will be changed in a period of non-panic. If you don't know what to do, sometimes the best option is not do anything. And I'm not just saying that. I've done this long enough to know that it's better if you're too emotional about anything, it's better to just sit down and let it pass. Anyway, so today it sort of passed. It didn't really pass. We're still down. But let's take a look at the markets. So we're down to 42.19. So it's lower than we were earlier today in midday, but it's been waddling back and forth between 42, 41 and change all the way up. Now we're getting closer to my buy point. As I've said, if NuCypher Bitcoin gets to 758, I will be buying regardless of what. I'll take my 20% and throw it at whatever the price of NuCypher US dollar is. But I need to see this thing drop. It's suddenly spiking back up. So now we're 42.51. Look, today we certainly passed this, what I call resistance line. And as I said earlier, I think 43, it'll probably hang around the 43 range. That was in my midday video. So here we are, 42.37. This has been a very volatile day. Bitcoin's all over the map. I mean, we're going to go through it in a second. But please understand that this is par for the course. We're going to expect great days. We're going to expect crap days. We're in a crap day. We've been to 42 like a few weeks ago. So it's not like, it's not like we haven't seen this story. So as we move forward here, just taking a look at Bitcoin just did an outright plunge. Like, we went from 59 and change, all the way down to 53 and change. And I'll give you an example of this right here. So if you look at the Bitcoin benchmark, we'll take two times of the day, right? Around 12 o'clock today, Bitcoin was at 58,643. It had a low at 4:05 p.m. at 53,985. That was a loss of almost 8% on the Bitcoin USD pair within a 4-hour interval, which is a big move for Bitcoin. So NuCypher strength of Bitcoin, or NuCypher BTC, actually gained. It actually strengthened against Bitcoin while Bitcoin went down. So the price really went from 45.03 to 41.99. So technically, we were actually less worse off than Bitcoin was by this tune right here, 1.29%. Anyway, it goes to show you how this can help add and subtract from the relative movement to Bitcoin. But I want to make one other very, very solid point here that everyone should understand. NuCypher price is dictated by two inputs, and I say it all the time: the Bitcoin benchmark and the NuCypher strength of Bitcoin. Does anyone here on this listening to this video think that Bitcoin is going to be bust in a year? I don't think so. I mean, just given the adoption of Bitcoin and given that this is really driving the NuCypher price, I don't see this thing. Honestly, I don't see it. My prediction on this thing is at least 100,000 next year. And then you look at NuCypher, and to me, this is more about the company. What is it about NuCypher, and what does it have to add? Well, I think the Bitcoin benchmark generally will, as it grows and grows and grows, it'll become less volatile because it becomes like gold. It kind of like stays in a range, but it's not going to drop like 5% in a day like we're looking at in today's action. So I think over time this thing will stabilize a little bit, more. And obviously there'll always be volatile moments, but the main thing here is that, look, this thing was a big driver of this. This was 88% of today's price action. So I don't see Bitcoin going out of business. I think NuCypher is very much driven by Bitcoin. Some of the smaller cryptos aren't even driven by Bitcoin. Some of the really like tiny ones, like micro ones, like with like $1 million behind it. Those are the types of coins that are pretty much going to go to zero in many cases because they don't have Bitcoin pulling it around. NuCypher is very much pulled around by Bitcoin, as are 99% of the altcoins that are within the top 500 list. So I'm still I'm very bullish NuCypher long term, and you should all understand that. But I just want to point that out. Anyway, going back to the charts, we're at NuCypher now, 42.61. We broke this yellow line. I see us, honestly, this now line of support is now resistance because it's above us. I don't know that we're going to get back in this range by tomorrow. We could be waddling around here for a little while longer. I'm not sure. This week's inflation week, just a lot of, dreary news probably coming down the pike. The saying, sell in May, go away. Between that and the inflation numbers coming out, I'm not sure that we're going to see, a dramatic rally in NASDAQ and or Bitcoin. But we'll see. I think it's going to be a volatile week, but let's let it play out. Right now, I'm still waiting for my 700. It always goes down to 755 and pops all the way back up to 780 and then drops back down. So it's around 767, not far up from where we were earlier today. But, I think we should probably in the 43 range is where I'm expecting this to hang around until we start getting better footing. Bitcoin needs to calm down to help us out here a little bit. But anyway, time will tell. We'll figure out the overnight action. I'll definitely tweet out what I see in here. Anyway, talk soon.